What do you got?
I think I can prove to a judge that both of these men had the mens rea.
What the hell is a mens rea?
It's a legal term the lawyers use. It just means the intention to commit a crime.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Mens rea?
Put the cuffs on him.
How could we have gotten mens rea? We take blood? Can you do it without taking blood? We both use condoms. How is this possible? I want to see a doctor. Can I have an independent blood test?
Money!
I feel sick.
What are you doing?
Mens rea!
Would you gentlemen care to order your dinners?
Bet, babe. Slide a piece of the porter. Drinks, I run the job.
Look at here. I can dig grease and trumpet on some butter and drag him through the garden.
Hey, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good whatever. Whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever you're doing it with, however good it feels, however many times you plan on doing it, and why ever you're doing it in the first place. Not for me to say, but I'm glad you're doing it here. We are here for day 15, afternoon of YNW Melly. Got a 30-minute-ish power nap out of that. And you know that feeling you between the morning session and now? You know, like when you have that question like, oh, should I sleep a little bit or should I just stay awake? And then you sleep for like not really a long nap and not really a power nap, like that weird area in between where you sleep and then you wake up feeling way worse than if you had just stayed awake. That's me right now. I probably would have felt better if I would have just stayed awake. I'm just kind of punch drunk right now, but we've only got, according to, and they better be telling the truth. According to the prosecution and defense, they're estimating between an hour and a half and 2.5 hours until the prosecution rests. The defense will start their case in chief tomorrow. So I decided to wake up and after a little 30-minute nap and power through the end of the prosecution's case. We're here and that's what we're doing. It'll be a little bit before while people trickle in. Nothing going on law and crime. They're on a commercial break. The court is supposed to be back in session 3 minutes ago, but they kind of like their breaks here. We'll see how long it takes for them to get in here. In the meantime, I'm here, you're here. It looks like it's all mods all the time here in chat. Hey, mods. Looks like all the mods are here. We're doing good. Yeah. We're looking modelicious. All right. We're just kicking off and you're waiting. What did we see during the morning session? Well, we saw the cross-examination of the defenses by the defense of the prosecution star witness, I guess, the lead detective. The prosecution, they finished their direct examination of him. The defense took over, and the defense is it's the angry white guy. He's been aggressive. He's been assertive, but he's walking a very fine line. And now is their chance. Their whole idea was this is the detective that botched the investigation. I think they're falling way short of proving or even showing a hint that he botched the investigation. He seems to have done a pretty good job. I mean, the defense is reaching. They're doing the best they can. They've got to find something. They're working on it. They're working on some way to discredit his investigation. I don't think it's working. You know, did you investigate this guy? Did you investigate that guy? It's the usual thing. You know, did you investigate everyone else on the planet before you decided to focus on my guy? He started off with a kind of interesting and I thought meaningful line of questioning about a text message that the prosecution ended with. The prosecution ended with the defendant. A Facebook text where the defendant, Mr. Melly, said, I did this, or I did that. I did that. And another message 2 seconds later saying, shh. As I said then, if that was a joke, he picked the absolute worst timing to make the absolute worst joke for the rest of his life. If he did it, he's an idiot for saying he did it in a Facebook message. But he said, I did that, THAT. And the defense harped on that and said, it's spelled T-H-A-T in this message. If you look at his text messages he sent, he said, 75,000 pages of text messages. He has never once spelled it T-H-A-T. It's been spelled D-A-T, dat, every time, 75,000 pages. So the implication being he didn't send that text. Excuse me. It's interesting. I mean, ordinarily that wouldn't be much of a thing, but if he literally didn't use T-H-A-T one time in 75,000 pages of text, not 75,000 messages, 75,000 pages of messages, that would be kind of a significant thing. But let's assume that he didn't send that. Let's assume it was somebody else that has access to his YouTube account, managers, whatever, girlfriend's mother, who knows? Let's say it was someone else, or maybe it was even him just doing a joke and autocorrect caught him and corrected it. Let's just say that still. I did it. Doesn't prove he did it. And spelling it T-H-A-T instead of D-A-T doesn't really, in and of itself, all by itself, isolated, really cast any doubt that he didn't, that he didn't do it. I mean, doesn't cast a doubt on whether or not he did it. All right, looks like let's see. Let's bring up they're in court cam, so let's bring up court cam here. We'll keep it small here for a minute. Bring it on up. Boom, bigging it. And make it small. There we go. All right. We'll just keep this here. Let's scoot over a little bit. We'll keep this here while we wait for something to happen, but they have gone to the court cam. And again, this better be an hour and a half. Otherwise, I'm just going to be like, I'll work all day. So, all right, everybody. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on all of this? We've got our like and subscribe poll. We picked up one subscriber while I was sleeping. So to the 147 of you that are here now, make sure you pop on and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's see if we picked up any new subscribers. I want to get to 40. We picked up another subscriber, one more. We are currently at 53,892. We need 8 more subscribers. 8 more subscribers to hit 53,900. Then we're on to 54,000. So that'd be awesome. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, take our like and subscribe poll. As always, it is super lame and it is super here. Over here on the right-hand side. Did you hit the like and subscribe buttons? Did you hit the like button? Did you subscribe? Yes, Lorax for the win. Yes, let's wrap this up. Yeah, none of you should business, but yeah. And yes, I'd kill for a verdict. That's our stupid lame poll for the day. It's just a little friendly reminder to hit the like and subscribe button, so I don't have to keep harping on it, even though I do anyway. So you're all about the like and subscribe. Well, yeah, that's kind of what helps the channel grow, but I only do it like once every hour and a half. It might, if it seems like we're talking about it all the time, that just means you're a loyal viewer and you watch us a lot. So you think it's every so, but it's only every hour and a half. So there you go. Emmanuel Quinonez, did you sleep? Yeah, I slept about 30 minutes. I got about a 30-minute sleep, power nap. I was afraid I wasn't going to fall asleep, but I did. Autocorrect doesn't correct if you keep typing it as dad. It'll allow dad. We just don't know. It doesn't really matter. In and of itself, it doesn't really matter. All right, we are in business. We're into business.
Are you ready to proceed? Yes. How about the state?
We're printing a hard copy of jury instructions for Mr. Howard at his request.
Just don't utilize it much.
Yeah, apparently they're not going to have Bortland, no D on the end, just Bortland. Apparently they're not going to have Bortland testify. I thought for sure he'd flip because, as we said at the end of the last stream, dude is out on $90,000 bail for a first-degree murder charge. 2 first-degree murder charges, double first-degree murder. The guy is out on $90,000 bail. That to me screams he flipped, but apparently he didn't. because they're not gonna have him testify. They said this is the end of the witnesses. So I don't get it. I don't know why he's out on $90,000 bail for 2 first-degree murder charges, but he is. So I was wrong. Well, if he snitched, it doesn't matter if he doesn't testify. Because everything he says is hearsay until he gets on the stand and corroborates it. And he's not getting on the stand. They've teased us again with it. Bringing it in, bringing it out. Yeah, Digger 420 says, I'm surprised too, Jeff. I thought he'd testify for sure. He played the prosecution. You don't want to play the prosecution with 2 counts of first-degree murder hanging over. Because if he had an agreement to testify, they'd find a reason to violate his parole, his bond, and he'd be back in the slammer, and they would come down on him like a ton of bricks. I have no idea what happened. It makes zero sense to me. I can't even speculate at this point. So whatever. I can't even speculate as to why he's out walking free if he didn't flip and he's not going to testify. So, what? Let's bring the jury in. RoboCop, gigantic robo chick. Oh, is she standing? She's not going to ask any questions, or is she just organizing papers? Like, nah, I got this. Get back there, RoboCop. Oh, but what do you mean? I'm trying to help you out here. What do you mean? Come on, let me do it. Like, I can get it for you. Like, no, I'm fine, gigantic robot chick. Get over there. Go over there and mind Melly. Well, that little source of amusement is now finished. We can't wonder what she's saying because that's all. She went and took her seat, so there you go. All right. I keep checking to see if I'm muted or whatnot here. Jim Satala says, League of Vices, you look like how I felt at 1 a.m. after attending the End Racism comedy tour. Yes, I was extremely intoxicated. I look just fine. I don't think I look particularly bad. I think I look pretty damn handsome as a matter of fact. And not intoxicated at all. Don't know what you're on about, Jim, but I'm feeling pretty darn good. All right, let's see here. Get back to some trial. Yeah, I know I always look great, Chris. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. Who would you smash, Sebastian Mueller? Gigantic robo chick or the prosecutor? Why did I pronounce that prosecutor, not prosecutor? I am having a great time. We're doing good. I got a cough again. All right. I'm back. Oh, I would never call myself dapper. I'm fashion void. I do know that. Hey, it's Will Cellulite Podcast in the chat. What's up? Yeah, What's up, Will? Good to see you, buddy. Cellulite Podcast in the chat. How big did we say the defense chick was? She was like 180. That's Cellulite Podcast. Will ain't even giving her the time of day at 180. She doesn't even exist. She's not even on his radar. Who is it?
Jury entering.
Jury entering who? Jury entering Melly once he gets into prison. Ooh, zing. Yeah, see. She's a large woman, but yeah, Will ain't even give her the time of day. She's wearing a Gomez Adams suit today. I didn't notice that. She's got that Gomez Adams pinstripe going. Yeah, Ludo's 5'11", 180.
Again, reflect the presence of the defendant, Mr. Dennis, his counsel, the assistant state attorneys, as well as ladies and gentlemen.
All right, the prosecution is going to wrap up its case as soon as the defense wraps up their cross-examination, and the defense gives about a 30-minute redirect.
You're able to continue now, counsel, is that right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You may.
Detective,
MG Law, now she's only 180.
I think I left,
She's got to pack on another 100 before Will even looks in her general direction.
asked Jameson and Swan how long he had the 9807 phone that's attributed to Melly.
I never asked him that question.
You never asked.
Correct.
So you don't know specifically from him. Well, let me back up. When you met him.
I don't think his
you pulled
neck
it out
tats
of
matter.
his
We're staring at his face
It was
tats.
in a fanny pack.
Okay, he pulled it out of his fanny pack. And you never asked him how long he had it, correct?
Correct.
I'm gonna make him because he had the 9807 phone, the 3 holsters in his storage locker,
3 empty
And
holsters in a storage
the-
locker.
Ammunition found in his house as a suspect.
Okay,
That would be number 6.
number 6, Mr. Jameson Francois, the cell site data does not put him at the scene.
I'm not asking, there's no question pending, so I appreciate you offering.
Why, thank you, RL. This is a practice run
So we
for
get the
Tailors Your Business starting
9807
Monday.
phone from Mr. Francois. And as we sit here today, you don't know where the 3 guns are that were found and that were missing from the holsters in his store.
Just because you have a
Correct.
holster does
Correct.
not mean you're missing a gun, Mr. Defense Lawyer.
And you don't know anything about the gun locks, whether or not they are related to additional guns, correct?
Correct.
For my Smith & Wesson 1911, I have 4 different holsters for that. But that doesn't,
Now, we
you know.
know that when Cortland Henry was arrested, he was wearing different clothes or a different shirt than what was portrayed by him as he walked out of the studio, correct?
He was arrested on the 26th.
I'm sorry?
You're right.
I said he wasn't arrested on the 26th.
Oh, you're absolutely right. We know that when you saw Mr. Henry at the hospital and compared what he was wearing at the hospital to what he was wearing as he walked out of the studio, he had on a different clothes.
Yes.
We also know that the victim's DNA was on Mr. Henry's shirt, correct?
Yes, sir.
We also know that Mr. Henry had GSR located on his hands.
2 parts GSR.
Now, when Melly surrendered in February of 19, I think it was.
Borland
February
had
13th,
gunshot residue on his hand?
For all practical purposes.
Must have missed
I think
that.
you marked case closed by arrest, correct?
Yes, sir.
When did Sergeant Williams from BSO get involved, if you know?
The exact date I do not know.
Would it was after you closed the case, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you know who asked Sergeant Williams to get involved, and he's the one who supposedly did the trajectory analysis?
That actually transpired when the case was filed with the state attorney's office. So sometime late January 2019. And it's also been corroborated by the fact that when they turned over discovery to you, it said trajectory analysis pending. So that information was made available to you back then. We just had not started that portion.
Would it surprise you to learn that it was November 16th of 2021 that Williams was contacted by the prosecutor's office?
No.
That was some, 3-4 years after this event?
Yes, sir.
Would it also, you met with Sergeant Williams, correct?
Yes, sir.
And would it surprise you to learn that after meeting with you and looking at your reports, he put that aside?
I don't know, sir.
Would it also surprise you to learn that he came into this courtroom and said,
Sustained.
Can't ask that.
do you know when Detective Polo from the BSO got involved in this investigation?
It was sometime before we went back to grand jury and re-indicted.
Would it surprise you to learn that he didn't get involved until February of 2022?
That would surprise me.
That was what? Close to 4 years after the event.
If you say so.
Well, 18 to 22, isn't that about 4 years?
I'm just not arguing with you, sir. I'm just arguing with you.
Would it also
3.5
surprise
years.
you that after this young man surrendered and was charged with these murders, that years later, there was a DNA analysis again done?
Yes, sir.
You're aware of that?
Yes, sir.
Heck of an investigation, I guess.
Excuse me, Councilwoman.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm starting to wonder if the defense should have put
Would
on
it
case.
also surprise you
It's not doing good.
that after the Jeep was searched and processed hours on 3 different occasions, that miraculously Sergeant Williams found additional evidence in the vehicle that obviously someone missed?
Yes, sir, I read that.
So someone did do their job completely.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Argumentative. Are they
We have
suggesting
so
someone
far-
planted evidence?
6 suspects in this case. Cortland Henry,
Okay, he's a
Correct.
viable
Yes, sir.
suspect.
David Hedgepath,
Yes, sir.
a guy Bentley unknown because you didn't bother to look at that.
Objection, Your Honor.
Correct.
You missed it.
Sustained.
Bentley, correct?
We did look into it, we could not identify it.
Okay. Unidentified. Christopher Thomas Sr., correct?
Yes, sir.
The incident at Walmart.
Yes, sir.
The incident at Walmart is
Jameson
not a suspect.
Francois so far as suspects.
Yes, sir.
You also talk about a Montrell Rowe as a potential suspect, correct?
I never identified Montreal Rule as a suspect.
Well, did you review some jail calls without telling me what they are? I don't want to get in trouble. Without telling me what they are, did it lead to Montrell Rowe knowing some information?
I have to be careful, I don't want to upset anyone and cause a sidebar. There was a
It just
conversation.
requires a yes or no.
Repeat your question, sir.
Did Montrell roll because of information he may have known become at one time a suspect?
No,
No. Did you interview Montrell Roll or his sister?
his sister, yes.
And without telling me why or what was said, that was because of some information, whatever that information was, dealing with these murders, correct?
Correct.
Now, there was talk, I think by you, at the request of the state, about a Jay Green.
Yes, sir.
Jay Green was someone who had, based upon your investigation, threatened this young man, correct?
And there was some tension between the two, yes.
Did you bother to interview Jay Green?
I did not because,
It only requires a yes or no, sir. So
No,
the
sir.
answer to your question is, and you keep writing those notes down,
Okay.
you did not.
Whoa.
You did not.
Be a little argumentative.
Time to interview Jay Green, correct?
Correct, sir.
That's suspect number 8.
This isn't working out for him.
There was also an individual by the name of Frito Bang that you mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Frito Bang, his real name is Frederick Gibbons, correct?
Correct.
Frederick Gibbons was a rap singer, correct?
Yes, sir.
Rap
He
singer.
lived right around the corner on the other side of the lake where Melly lived, correct?
Correct.
They're not even really suspects, Agony Goose. They're
There was
people who
also
could have
some
possibly
talk-
been suspects.
On the various phones you analyzed of putting this young man on the plate, right?
Yes, sir.
That is a fancy way or a code way of saying, I'm gonna kill him,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Correct.
And that was done by, let me make sure, so. That was done by Herc
Yes, sir.
and Goon.
I don't remember Goon, but I do remember her.
Did you take the time to interview Herc?
No, sir.
So that would be suspect number.
Objection, Your Honor, to the use of excessive violence.
Like, I'm sustaining the objection, just,
Yes, sir.
you were
I'm sorry.
no argument.
Yes. That would be suspect number 10.
Yes, sir.
I
It was
see what he's
mentioned
doing, but
about
it's not
Goon,
working.
Who was
Not working.
on various messages, also threatening this young man because he wasn't responding to Herc or any of the other upper echelon people in this gang called the Bloods. Correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Did you talk to Goon?
No, sir.
Yes.
Do you even know Goon's real name?
No, sir.
Do you know Herc's real name?
No, sir.
And I think you mentioned a guy by the name of Gino that also was you reviewed some messages.
That's what the redirect's going to
saying
be.
He's not
You are
responding
correct, Allie.
to the
I
various
believe so.
members of.
The United Blood Nation?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
other members of the jury with Gino.
Probably another gang member.
Do you know his real name?
No, sir.
We're now up to 13 suspects.
13 wildly possible suspects.
And I don't like to stop at 13, because some people think that's an unlucky number. So how about Quando Wando?
Quando,
Who
wando,
also
wando.
threatened this young man. Did you bother to talk to him or investigate him?
No, sir.
So people that threaten to kill the defendant should be investigated
Stop
for the
it,
murder of
14.
somebody else?
I think that's 13. Now, as a trained investigator, you would never intimidate any witness to a crime, would you?
Correct.
You would never threaten a witness if he said something you didn't like. Would you?
No, sir.
You mentioned the name of Patrick Deloach.
Yes, sir.
And you mentioned that you interviewed him as a potential witness, right?
Yes, in the presence of the state attorney.
Okay. And didn't you threaten him by,
I'm sorry,
Objection, hearsay.
sustained.
Nice, Grant Roger. He's a rapper. They threaten
didn't
each other all
you
the time.
threaten Patrick Deloach without telling me what it is?
No, sir, I don't believe I threatened him. Did I advise him that lying to us could result in him being charged with a crime?
Patrick
Yes.
Deloach.
Rebecca, bring the $2.99 super sticker. Thank you so much for that, Rebecca. You are awesome. And what a cute little dachshund you got there. Thank you so much. Lux says, I still don't understand why he killed his best friends, but I'm kind of believing he did it. Yeah, see, that's the thing. They don't have to prove the motive. They don't have to prove why he did it. They just have to prove he did it. And they have, to me anyway. I'm trying to be open-minded with the defense to see if there's any possible reasonable doubt that comes to mind, but I don't think the prosecution. I think the prosecution did a great job, and I don't think the defense is doing that well right now.
Did you threaten him at all?
No, sir.
If someone would ask for an attorney as you're questioning them, you would.
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
You interviewed Adara Scott, correct?
Yes.
Did you threaten her?
Did not threaten her, sir. I advised her that not being truthful and honest could result in her being arrested for accessory after the fact.
And go to prison for a long time, correct?
What's the objection?
Hearsay.
What he said, my understanding is.
Yes.
Not asking what the
No.
person might have said, what you said. Detective.
Yes. I had to review the statement, but I did advise her that lying to us could result in her being charged for accessory after the fact.
And go to jail for a long time, correct?
And that's what's in my statement, and that's what's in my statements.
So saying you're going to be, you could be
And
charged
didn't
with
you
something and go away for a
also
long time. Doesn't mean you're threatening them. It means you're telling them to tell
tell
the truth.
Patrick Deloach?
Objection, hearsay.
It's what he said. I'm sorry.
Motion.
Dang it, the defense did such a good job up to this point. Now I'm not liking this guy at all. He's trying too hard. Saying that if you don't tell the truth, you can be charged as an accessory after the fact, which could result in a lengthy prison sentence. That's not saying I'm going to do this unless you testify this way. It's saying these are the consequences if you lie. That's not a threat. And he's reaching. Did you threaten this person? Did you threaten that person? Did you threaten the other person? Dang it. The defense was doing such a good job up to this point. Granted, they don't have a lot to work with after the prosecution's final witness. But you gotta do it in a way that sounds better than it's coming across now. Melly's team is blaming Bortland, so it seems seems like he wanted him alive to try to blame him for the murder. There's 1,000 reasons why he'd leave him alive. See, that would be the smart thing to do, would be to blame Bortland for it. That would be the smart thing. And they could do it better than this. They could be saving.
Let's go to Patrick.
They could be saving Borland for a rebuttal witness. I'm still holding out to faith for Borland.
Yes, sir. What are you approaching with?
A statement. And his words.
Please state.
Patrick Deloach with Detective Moretti and Christine Bradley present.
He just sounds like he's being snarky even to the judge, and that's not a good thing to do.
That conversation was not specific to the murder. That was specific.
Did you in fact threaten to have him be federally indicted? Yes or no?
Yes, because of gun sales.
Gun sales. Did you in fact tell him that he would not see his kids for a couple of years?
Possibly.
Well, may I approach?
Yes, sir. Sam. Document.
Yes, sir.
Maybe I'm just tired, but this angry 24/7 thing isn't playing well with me at all. It's making me like him less and less. No, this is another witness, another interested party, witness, whatever you want to call them. They're talking about, not Melly.
Did you in fact threaten Jameson Francois?
The same answer, sir. We advised him that lying to us could result in their arrest.
Did you in fact tell him he would be deported to Haiti?
Yes.
Did you in fact tell him that despite the fact that he has lived in this country since he's been 5 years old, he would be deported that, these are his words.
Counsel.
I'm sorry.
Relevance.
I apologize.
Hitting witnesses.
Restate your question, counsel.
Did you, as a trained investigator, threatened Jameson Francois to be deported to Haiti, even though he's been in this country since 5 years.
Yes, sir.
Did you in fact threaten that he would not get fed and get any medicine in the Haitian jails?
I don't know about that conversation.
What? You'll get no
Threatening a
medicine in the
witness.
Haitian jails.
Is
Objection, Your Honor.
Anyone ask a question? What's the objection?
Relevance.
What?
I overrule this relevance. So
Irrelevant.
ask your question.
do you think threatening a witness who tells you something that you don't like really gets to the truth?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
Sustain.
Dude, chill out, man. You're looking bad. Chill out. Don't be angry, guy. Come on.
When you question Jameson Francois, were
Did you
you
threaten
alone
him?
or did you bring immigration officers with you?
We were at the Chrome Detention Center, so of course the immigration officers had to be there.
Ice, ice, baby. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Ice, ice, baby. Na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
May I approach?
Same state.
A different state. Jameson Francois.
Reflection.
Did you in fact tell him that the jails are overcrowded, in referring to Haiti? It's disease-ridden, it's a, excuse my French, a shithole.
Objection, no, overruled.
Judge looks like he's getting irritated. Well, I would
Underlined it so you can
I
see
would
it.
go out on a limb and
Oh.
suggest that perhaps Haitian jails are a shithole. I mean, if you said, where do you want to go to jail? Haiti it would not be on the top of my
Counsel,
list.
I've asked you a couple times.
I apologize.
That didn't sound. Why is he acting like this? Don't get pissed. Don't get snarky with the judge. He's gonna smack you down. Exactly, Mama Bear. It doesn't
Have you
help
ever
when everyone
heard
else is
the
calling you. You
term-
sound like a growly bear.
Key to an interview to get to the truth is you catch more with honey rather than vinegar.
Yes, sir.
Would you consider these threats that you gave to these various witnesses?
Objection.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation. Relevance.
Sustain.
Assuming facts not in evidence, etc.,
You obviously
etc.
don't follow that technique.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustain.
Dude. No. He's not going for a mistrial. He's just trying to
Let
be a
me show
tough
you the
guy.
list
And he's
of
acting like a dick.
suspects that we talked about and see if this is true and correct. May I approach?
Show counsel.
I mean, just his posture. He's just like, I'm a cock. I want to like this guy, but now I hate him. If any of you trial watchers, like for the defense, happen to be watching this stream, send him a message to knock this
fair
shit
and
off
accurate
right now.
list of the suspects we talked about.
Looking bad.
You indicated they're suspects in this case.
Yes, sir.
Would you sign it for me? Dated today's date.
What?
Thank you. May I approach to get the document back? I would ask that this be marked as the next offense exhibit.
Your state rejected this, right?
It can be marked as a exhibit for identification.
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
It's not evidence.
And does that document exhibit C, defendant C, fairly and accurately?
No, sir.
It doesn't.
Think they just had him sign a document,
All
a
the
dated
names we
document
talked about, correct?
Yes, sir.
for handwriting
All the
purposes.
names involved in this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
What?
I move it in evidence.
Your state, so, okay.
Sustained.
It ain't getting in there, buddy. They objected to the evidence, not going in. Dude, this lawyer is getting his ass handed to him. I mean, remember how shitty the prosecution was the first 8 days? They've been bringing the heat the last 7. That's the end. Oh man, that was weak fucking cross-examination. That was weak fucking cross-examination. Defense got his ass handed to him.
So Detective Murray said that's not a fair and accurate statement of all of the suspects. Who needs to be added to that list before you could say it actually describes the people that are suspects in this case?
It's missing the defendant's name.
And who would that be?
Janelle DeMons.
Okay.
Well,
With
see,
regards
the defense
to
walked
the
right
first
into
thing
that.
counsel
Whose name is
asked you
missing from
about,
the possible
the
defendant?
word,
Possible suspects. The defendant.
I want to go to what's been previously
Walked
put into
right into
evidence as state 64. And if this is a kind of switch to other source.
Oh, the prosecution is going to get murdered again here. I mean, the defense is going to get murdered again here. I mean, that was a great line. That was a great question. Whose name is missing from the list of the suspects? The defendant. Not only is it accurate, it makes the defense look ingenuous.
Going to what's highlighted on the screen. What's the name
Disingenuous.
of the song by Mr. Demmons? What is that one called? In the bottom right-hand corner of the screen?
Melly fix that THAT_01.mp3.
Okay.
Pizzas.
In terms of going through the various messages.
Melly fixed that.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Going on previously evidence of states 106.
It said that, not dat. Uh-oh. This whole that thing is fucking stupid.
Song sent back and forth between Mr. Williams and Mr. Demmons.
Yes, ma'am.
That was from states 106 for council. Going to states 112. Statements, and this is the conversation between the 6942 number. On September 16th of 2018, how does the defendant spell that?
THAT.
Well, there you go, Mr. Defense. You seem to be wrong, and now you just fucked
November
yourself.
18th of 2018, how does the defendant spell that?
THAT.
You just fucked yourself, Defense.
On December 31st
He never
of
in 75,000 pages
2018,
used
how does the defendant spell that?
THAT.
THAT.
There you go. You're fucked. You fucked yourself. You overextended.
You
You
about
generalized,
that red
and you just got caught.
Mitsubishi. I'm going now to states 118, the Facebook.
We say howdy here. It says, oh my, that's that.
Specifically page 293.
Control F is a bitch, defense lawyer.
starting on page 294, the conversation, who on October 28th of 2018, who is that being sent by? Who is the author of that message? Hey, baby.
Gianna Thompson.
On October 30th of 2018, 212413 UTC. There's a what is this message from Ms. Thompson to Jamel Demon's Facebook say?
You gave me a truck, baby? Question mark, question mark.
Do you know what truck that is?
The red Mitsubishi.
Before that, October 28th, 2018. What does Jamel Demon send as a message to Janet Thompson?
My lawyer and my label told me not to talk to nobody.
Excuse me, I have an objection. May we approach?
Okay. My lawyer and my label told me not to talk nobody, but I'm taking care of the funeral, and your family is going to be good for life. But I know it won't replace this heartbreak ever, but it's the least I can do. Objection, you're making him sound like a good guy. Huh. We need more abort license plates in the gift shop. Why on earth wouldn't the defense have searched the document? Because he was trying to be hyperbolic. He was trying to be a showman. That's what he did. Do you agree that every single time he used this? And you don't agree. Whoever keeps coughing and opening drinks on this perfectly clear microphone, could you please give it to the lawyers so that they can use this perfectly clear microphone? You get ASMR soda drinking.
Okay, continuing on. Told me not to talk to nobody.
But I'm taking care of.
Well, and again, whatever that objection was, they just lost it.
Family is going to be good for life. But I know it won't replace this heartbreak ever, but it's the least I can do. Than 4 emojis that we don't have there.
On October 28, 2018, how does Janet Thompson respond? You can just read the first through ashes.
I don't want him buried. I want his ashes.
Wait, why didn't you finish reading it? Read the whole thing. Whatever.
So, Detective Maroney, counsel asked you about that list of suspects.
Yes, ma'am.
On Bentley.
Why is everybody blaming me for opening drinks? I'm just sitting here watching the trial. Jeez, people.
Page 132. And this is in the chat.
Apparently it was Joe Choi.
On August 27th, 2018.
Nope, I don't drink beer. There's only one beer I drink, and it doesn't come in a can.
Yes, ma'am.
And
You'll never get me to admit to opening a can of beer.
if you could say, and I just want you to read from here to here.
Bentley told him not to sell it.
And I think the
Not to sell it.
N-word spook. Wow. That's
So
it.
you talked about a
Wow.
charm or something. Is this the post regarding this necklace from Walmart?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
And what is the date on that?
8/25/2018.
Oh, I bought
So is Bentley
somebody a
the person from
Walmart necklace. How
the
big of you?
same suspect?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What information do you have in this case that puts Montrell Rule at the scene?
No information whatsoever. He was in jail at the time.
So his alibi checked out.
Yes,
So we can
Grolsch
cross him off
actually
the
is a good.
list.
That is one
Let's
of
go
the
to
bottled
Chris
beers that I
Thomas
will drink.
Senior.
Grolsch is actually pretty good,
Put him up the scene.
no, ma'am.
and they make
Any
nice
indication
reusable
whatsoever that
bottles.
he wanted to kill his own son?
No, ma'am.
Cross him off the list. Going to.
Now she's
David
crossing off the
Sensat,
witnesses
Crucial
one by
Almighty.
one. I mean, the suspect.
You indicated you first wrote a search warrant for his involvement on October 31st of 2018.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything that ties him to the senior Miramar?
None whatsoever.
In terms of the follow-up investigation with his work records,
Yes, ma'am.
after you reviewed them, did you move on in your investigation?
Yes, ma'am.
Going now to Portland Henry.
We'll
Is
talk
Mr.
about
Henry
this.
involved in this case?
Mr. Henry is a co-indicted defendant.
Going now in terms of the Jameson Francois. Does Mr. Francois have an alibi?
Yes,
How so?
he was at his house at the time.
And how do you know that?
His wife,
How else do you know that?
cell site data.
What about Jay Green? Council wouldn't let you answer the because, so I'm gonna ask if you complete your answer. So what, you say because Jay Green?
Because later that day, the defendant reached out to Jay Green, had a conversation with him on Instagram, and the conversation was, "I love you, fool."
Continuing on to Frederick Givens. How do you know that he wasn't there at Pembroke Road News 27?
Based upon the text conversation, he is the one that went to the scene, well, to the pickup point to pick up the defendant and take him back to his house.
And in terms of the location of the defendant going back to his house, whose house do you mean?
Frederick Gibbons' house.
Frederick Givens. Does Mr. Demon's phone connect back to the YNW Castle?
That day, no.
Kirk, Goon, and Gina. Do you have any indication whatsoever that either of those individuals were here in the
Any of
state of
those.
Florida on October 26th, 2018?
No, ma'am.
Like
Rondo Rondo.
she's handing the defense lawyer his ass right here.
I don't know, ma'am.
Everyone
in
that he
terms of
figured as a
when you're
possible
interviewing
suspect,
a
she's
witness,
going down the list and checking
Do you
them off.
advise them of what perjury is?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that done in every single one of your statements?
Yes, ma'am.
The defense blew it big time.
In terms, there's a lot of talk about surveillance footage and going and looking at various surveillance footage on that. Does the business have an obligation to cover the roadway in front of it?
Most of the time they don't.
Why?
It's not in their interest. They're cut. Most places like CVS, Walmart, they're more focused on what's going on inside.
So in terms of all the various places that you went to, did you collect evidence if it didn't show anything?
No, ma'am.
In terms of the cellular analysis that you did,
Yes, ma'am.
were you able to compare and contrast?
Ryan
cellular
Miller with the first super
analysis you did
chat of the
on CFO?
night. Prosecutors are putting
Are
the
there
final
any
nails in the
Objection.
coffin. And thank you, Brian.
This objection.
Conclusion on it and speaking for another witness.
Overruled.
Are there any discrepancies between those two?
No, ma'am. My report mirrored their report.
Nothing further here.
I have
Damn.
to proceed with the court's permission.
Yes.
Would you agree with me that if you don't check the surveillance tapes, you have no idea what's on them?
Correct.
So you don't know what's on any of these cameras, on all of these companies that had cameras up and down Miramar Parkway, Pines, and the route that you took the helicopter ride on. Correct?
We were able to walk it out and assess what the cameras covered and what it did not cover.
Frederick Givens, you said purportedly my client went there. Certainly you got a search warrant to search that house for blood, clothes, or anything of that nature.
Objection.
Did you get a search warrant for?
Excuse me, I sustain the objection.
You mentioned Frederick Givens, is that correct?
Yes.
You mentioned and just told this jury that supposedly my client went to that house immediately after this incident, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you get a search warrant for that house? Verify or collect evidence?
Outside the scope.
Over.
We did not find out the exact location of Frederick Givens until we actually seized the cell phone, analyzed the cell phone. Because if you look back at previous statements, no one could ever give us the address. So by the time we actually discovered what his address was, he was no longer living in that area.
So the answer is no.
Correct.
Would you agree with the premise
No.
that you won't find any evidence
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustain.
if you
Charles
don't?
Nelson Riley.
Objection, Your Honor.
If. Sustain.
Charles Nelson Riley would be saying something witty and sexual. It'd be funny. It's just turning into a douche cannon.
The individual, may I do it from here? I'm sorry, Judge.
Yes.
The individuals that you say had no connection to this incident,
Yes.
you did not investigate, correct?
Incorrect.
State is resting as soon as they finish up this questioning here.
Did you investigate Wanda?
Don't know who that is.
Quando.
Did you investigate Jay Green?
Yes.
Did you investigate
Even Melly's like, fuck me, I'm fucking screwed.
Bentley?
Fuck.
Couldn't determine who Bentley was.
Can I see that list? Yeah. Did you investigate Walmart incident?
No, sir.
Did you?
The Walmart incident was like 2 months before the murder.
Yes.
This is
Did you
Murder is-
investigate his sister?
Yes.
Did you investigate her?
No.
Did you investigate Goon?
No.
Did you investigate Gina?
No.
Thank you.
Any further students, counsel?
Briefly,
redirect.
Detective Moretti, do you look at any one piece of evidence by itself?
No, ma'am. Our decision to make an arrest is based upon the totality of the circumstances. It's all the factors encompassed in the case, not just one person's name, one text message. It's everything.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Is this witness excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Madam, you want to call your next witness?
At this time, the state would rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need a few minutes with the attorneys. Do not discuss the case, but form any opinion about the case. Don't allow anyone to discuss the case in your presence. Certainly no research, including no heads on your chairs. Thank you.
All right, so either right now or first thing tomorrow morning, the defense is going to make a motion to dismiss the case. The judge is going to laugh in his face, and they'll continue with the defense's case in chief tomorrow morning. Wow. That was terrible for the defense. That was just bad. That was,
Reflecting jury step down.
That was
Counsel
awful.
remain along with the defendant. So the state rested. Are we still on schedule for tomorrow? Then you said Brendan Collins is going to be your witness. Is that right?
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
The possibility. Possible.
And he's available, Ms. Bradley?
Yes, Your Honor. He indicated, last council had asked for him to be here at 8:30. He said he could be here at 8:30.
All right. So assuming that you call Mr. Collins, is there any other witnesses that you anticipate calling tomorrow now?
We may have one more witness.
All right, so and is the state going to have your rebuttal?
If they, depending on if they call the one civilian, there is a possibility of that.
So it's a possibility, and it's going to be long or short.
Very short, Your Honor.
So, are you all telling me or suggesting to me that you think you'll be over by, let's say, lunchtime tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
The jury could get this
Yes, sir.
tomorrow afternoon.
Yes?
Yes.
So, I know you asked me to just adjourn or let the jury go now, so nothing's changed in that regard, correct? I'm just going to excuse the jury, tell them to be back here tomorrow at 9.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, and any objection, if I just have Gary tell him, see him back tomorrow at 9?
No.
No, you.
All right, so Gary, can you tell him, excuse him, walk him out?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So, you have any motions?
Yes, Your Honor, we move for a judgment of acquittal on the
Denied.
premise that
See you tomorrow.
the state has not presented a case sufficient for a jury to rely upon for
Dude,
conclusion of guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
I know it's a formality and you have to do this, but even you know it sounds
Several
fucking ridiculous.
Suspects who were not investigated, with the contention is they have no connection to the case, which would be a difficult contention to make having not investigated them. The DNA evidence is inconclusive. The cell tower evidence, the witness said when it's specific, it's not accurate, and when it's accurate, it's not specific, and gave us essentially a statement that in certain instances, he was really able just to say that 2 phones were in the same
Very,
area.
very rarely it works,
And
Liz.
so
It does some very rarely though.
they have no, this is a circumstantial case, and the
All
circumstances
cases are
themselves
circumstantial, basically.
lend to
Well, not all.
a multitude of various scenarios. And in that instance where a set of circumstances can lead to the conclusion of guilt and lead to the conclusion of innocence, a jury would be required, and therefore we would argue that such a level of proof doesn't rise to the level of proof beyond reasonable doubt. What it does is it invites the
If I was the
jury to
defense, I'd be
speculate,
tempted to stand up and just go,
find proof less than proof beyond a reasonable doubt,
and that would be my argument.
where other scenarios of innocence exist. And so we would respectfully move the court for a judgment of acquittal.
State?
Your Honor, the state would also make sure that council is aware of Bush v. State 295, 7th, 3rd, 179. That's a 2020 Florida Supreme Court case in which there is no special circumstantial standard of review on judgment of acquittal. The state has put forth competent evidence to support each and every element of first-degree premeditated murder as to both count 1 and count 2, that the defendant is the individual who committed said crimes, that the victims are the ones that were deceased, and that there is a premeditated killing.
I'm sorry. We
Denied.
also renew all of our previously made objections during the motions to suppress before Judge Siegel, and all of our objections that we made during the course of the trial and the motions from this trial.
Everything that guy just
All right,
says
so I'll
bullshit.
take your advisement unless there's some
Thank
other
you.
response. Is that your, no other response?
That's it, Your Honor.
So I'll defer to and take it under advisement. So the plan going forward now is we're going to hear from, or may hear from Brendan Collins tomorrow. You may have one other additional witness other than that, correct, Mr. Adelstein?
Correct.
And the state may or may not have one rebuttal witness, but if that's the case, it'll still be done by, let's say, noon tomorrow, right?
I think that's a fair assessment.
Closings tomorrow
Tomorrow
afternoon, it sounds like.
You're going to read the jury instructions tonight,
Yes, sir.
and we're going to go over, we'll have a charge conference tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
And we're anticipating then doing closings. Just going to tell the jury, you're going to find out tomorrow morning whether you're going to be available Wednesday morning or not.
Yes, sir.
So if you're available Wednesday, we're going to do closings on Wednesday. If you're not available Wednesday, I'm just going to tell the jury to come back on Thursday. Is that what we all agree to? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All
I
right.
would prefer to be here, Your Honor. I understand there are higher authorities compelling my presence elsewhere, but that is my preference would be to be here and be closing on Wednesday.
And my preference is to be home, Judge, to be candid.
Understood, but you suggested there's some motion filed or something like that where they're saying they're not ready in the other case.
Correct.
So I don't know anything about it. Respectfully, it's just, Judge Fine requested your presence a couple of weeks ago. You had 250 jurors coming in, doesn't want to waste their time. All right, so I acquiesced to it. But in any event, so we'll just play it by ear, and we'll see everybody back tomorrow, 9 a.m., and we'll sort it out then. All right,
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And assuming goes to the jury on, the earliest it goes is at if you do your closings Thursday. So it should be Thursday, it goes to the jury, and they'll have the room sequestered for then. Unless something happens, then you're basically available on Wednesday, then we'll do it on Wednesday. The jury will get sequestered Wednesday night.
Yes.
Right? All right, play it by ear. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Wow, we are coming to the end of the YNW Melly murder trial, and it just kind of fell apart right there at the end. Dang. So according to the judge, what we're looking at, if everything goes according to plan, tomorrow morning, the defense will start their case in chief. They have one witness, possibly two, and depending on how that goes, the prosecution may have one rebuttal witness. And then they'll argue motions. They'll argue jury instructions. Then they will do closings on Wednesday morning, and the jury should get this on Wednesday afternoon. But they said there might be a possibility of something with the prosecution. So they might have to skip the hearing on Wednesday, in which case it'll go to the jury on Thursday. So we should have a judgment by the end of the weekend. I don't think it's going to take that long to bring in a judgment. Eesh. LC Mayer says, Jeff, remember that time when a defense attorney sent their paralegal to pose as a cop and ask a witness question? Good times. That was in the Edgecombe trial with Judge Borowski. Yeah, that was good. Oh man. That did not go well for the defense. That went poorly. That went very, very poorly for the defense. The defense lawyer came across as a jerk. He set up this whole, you didn't look at 15, 14, or 13, how many fucking witnesses you didn't look at. You didn't look at these are all the possible suspects, and you didn't investigate any of them. Prosecution stands up and says, okay, just checks them off one at a time. Had nothing to do with it. Wasn't around. You'd gone. You'd nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Oh yeah, and you left one name off that list. Whose was it? The defendant. Oops. Man. He was unlikable. He was ridiculously aggressive. He was snarky with the judge. He just had no throttle control. And then just got his ass handed to him. The prosecution did a really awful job at the beginning of this trial, and the defense was all over it. But when it got right down to brass tacks, when it got right down to the time it really mattered with the lead detective, they were a bit shaky, and then it all went to hell on the cross-examination of the guy that they pounded the table and talked about how he botched the investigation. And turned out that botch wasn't really a botch after all. Man. And unless the defense's witness is like God Almighty himself that sits on the stand and says, Melly was not there. It was not him. Gotta say it, Melly's going down as far as if I was on the jury, he'd be gone. Life in prison. Hey, Ozzy Overlord, and what's up, Ozzy? Those evil plans and stuff really fell apart, huh? Yeah, I don't know how much you saw of that. What the hell are you doing awake at 4:30 in the morning? Jesus. Go to sleep. Of course, what am I doing awake at 3:30? I got nothing to add. That was just bad. That was an hour and 30-minute ass whooping was what that was. I'm trying to think of at least one thing positive to say about the defense and that cross-examination of the lead detective. I can't think of a single thing that was good about that. That just sucked. And they got trashed. I mean, even Melly's over here doing this, which I really hope wasn't. Oh, I'm fucked. I'm so fucked. Oh, fuck. Which that's what it looked like. The objections were coming fast and furious from the prosecution. Nearly every one of them got sustained. He's asking stupid questions. It just requires a yes or no answer. When you know that the prosecution is going to go, all right, let's get back to that yes or no answer. You know, what's the rest of it? And then he explains it very rationally, reasonably, and calmly, and just makes the defense look like a bunch of fuckwits. All right, well, that's it. Prosecution has rested. The defense will start their case tomorrow, and we'll be right here, same bat time, same bat channel, 9 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. UK, 10 p.m. Korea time, and 11 p.m. Aussie Overlord Hayden time. So whatever Aussie Overlord is doing awake at this hour, stick with it. Stick around for a couple of hours. He'll be doing his usual stream here in a few hours. So make sure you check back with Aussie Overlord here in a couple hours, so you don't miss his. It's my morning stream. I call it my morning stream because he's usually going or is just finished when I wake up. So, all right, guys, it was a pleasure being here for this afternoon session. Got to get going in training. I'm in training for the Taylorship Business Trial, and stay tuned for the Taylorship Business Trial. We are Korea time D-6 days out. Still 7 for most of the people in the world. 7 days until Taylorship Business. Thursday, I guess it depends when this gets over. The sooner this gets over, like the day this gets over, we're going to start our run up to Shabusiness. We got 3 motions I want to get through. Well, not 3 motions. We got 3 things I want to get through in my run up to the Shabusiness trial. 1, the charging document. One of the most horrific things I've ever read in my entire life. Horrifically graphic and detailed. The motion to suppress anything that was found in the search warrant of Shabusiness's house, which was soundly denied by the judge, and the motion to dismiss the SA charges against Shabusiness because her doing things to his body with a dildo occurred after death. So within the definition of the law, he was not a person at the time it happened. So therefore, she couldn't possibly be guilty of SA because the dude wasn't a person at that point. The judge dismissed that as well. But I want to cover the motions. It's a very interesting argument. But yeah, it didn't go over so well. I want to do that, and then we'll just do some other Shabusiness stuff. Hopefully, like Thursday and Friday, that would be awesome. And then we will start this bright and sunshiny early U.S. time on Monday. There's only one more hurdle to the Taylorship Business Trial. Only one more hurdle. The first 3 evaluations of whether or not she was competent to stand trial came back that she was competent to stand trial. The most recent one, last week, the defense hired their own expert to evaluate whether she was competent to stand trial. Surprise, surprise, the people that the defense team paid money to evaluate the defendant came back saying, she's not qualified to stand trial. She's not competent to stand trial. Everybody expected that. The expert gave an opinion that was paid for. But this Friday, the 21st, in the morning, they will be having a hearing where they will listen to the court-appointed psychologist give another opinion on whether or not she's fit to stand trial. Can almost guarantee she's going to come back and say, yes, she's faking it. She's fit to stand trial. Then jury selection will happen throughout Friday the 21st, and trial will start Monday morning. So everyone's going to want to be here. Forget whoever else is streaming the Taylorship Business Trial. This is Shabusiness Central right here. That's where y'all want to be. So, all right, everybody, let's come back tomorrow morning and see what the one witness and possibly two witnesses for the defense have to say. Let's see if there is a rebuttal witness by the prosecution. And let's get this case to the jury. Corn Pup says, Jeff, your background is fire. Yeah, except after like 7.5 years in this house, I finally decided to hang art. So these are all of my Cthulhu pictures, my Cthulhu artwork that's back there. Yeah, anywho, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. It's 3:36 a.m. I can get about 5 hours of sleep and then go off to work, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Mods, thank you for pulling double duty tonight. Chat, thank you for being here. We got all 357 of you, and we have 308 likes. That's pretty darn good. And Brian Miller, as prosecutors are putting the final nails in the coffin. As we mentioned earlier, I know I read this again, but yes, that's where we're going to get tomorrow. We're going to see if the defense can pull out some of those nails. I doubt it. Until then, mods, thank you. Chat, thank you. Everybody, thank you. We will see you tomorrow. Let's wrap this up. Let's see who can we send this stream to? Is anybody streaming right now that I can send you all over to for a raid? Let's look at this. Content. Live. Boom. Customization. Redirect. Who can we redirect to? Broken Baker, Future Conflict, Uncivil Law, Nicholas Starov, Trial Attorney. Let's all go over to Nicholas Starov. Why not? Nicholas Starov, you are going to get rated. Tell Nicholas hi. Tell him Legal Vices just came over to say hi. All right, folks, that's it. Nicholas is out. Nicholas is our guy. We're going to Nicholas. Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow. Law Racks out.